These two, they generated conversions in the past, 768 and 766, not in.
All right.
Hello, and welcome to Pixels and Points. So we have some very special guests with us today, but first of all, as always, I'm Susie Brown, the media planner buyer here at Red Rock, and with me, as always, we've got Matt Nelsen, our media director, and then special guests today from KXAN. We've got Heather Lonsdale, who is our account rep over there, and then also John Cronin, the director of research. So they're here with us today. We are going to talk about all things upfront. One of Matt and I's favorite things kind of over the summer when May comes around is always watching the live streams of all the network upfronts, seeing what kind of new programs, new sports, new acquisitions all the different broadcasters have. And then we get to talk about it and make our own predictions. So we figured we'd kind of go through one at a time, and we're starting today with NBC. So I can toss it over now to John and Heather, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what's coming up.
Thanks for having us. I really appreciate the opportunity. This is a really good chance to talk all things TV, network TV in particular. Matt and I were talking before the broadcast or the podcast that just a long tradition of the upfront. Like it was always gathering the whole station together to see the offering and hear a couple of off-color jokes that you wouldn't necessarily hear on the air. And just getting the whole network position for the for actually how they're positioning towards advertisers, obviously very advertiser geared, not as much viewer geared. So I think this year is very much AI advertising solutions for big brands. Like come with $40 to $100 million, and NBC is going to set you right.
Mm-hmm. It's like you've been on every episode of Pixels and Points, because that's what we talk about every time. It's here. Mm-hmm.
It's not going anywhere.
You know what? The interesting thing about lineups, and you guys have watched, I'm sure you've watched the last 30 years of upfronts. It's, some years are like, all right, we scrapped the whole thing. We got 17 new shows and here they are. And then over time, it's become like really settled into, like, hey, we're sticking with mostly continuity. And if we add a show or two, it's going to be rock solid talent, a writing crew you already know and trust, right? So you can kind of look towards, this year's lineup. And the new solution, obviously, for NBC is live sports 3 nights a week, right? It's, Tuesday night NBA, it's Saturday night college football, and it's Sunday night football. I mean, that's the real network play, obviously, I think, for primetime programming. But
absolutely.
To the, looking at the lineup, though, with a Monday, starting with Mondays, you go with rock solid, The Voice, bring a couple of new judges on, and I think that's just something you can kind of count on. In that it's not live programming or it's not sports programming, but it is live. So again, keeping with that theme of some live programming to keep people engaged.
I always kind of consider it that same bucket. And also when we're looking at streaming too, you've got sports and live events, and it's got that same kind of urgency, right?
Yeah, gotta see it. Heather, who are the new judges?
I believe Riley Green, he is a country singer, and Queen Latifah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
And then Adam, of course, coming back. It's good to have him back after, he'd taken a little dip for a while. And then I think it was back last season or last year. This is a big one. They're big, NBC is, prestige TV is kind of, occasionally they're going to put forth one show that's what we would call in the old days, prestige kind of thing. And who do you get for that? You get a prestige actor like Peter Krause to do this Line of Fire. This could be basically, I don't know, if I had to chalk it up, maybe we're going Blue Bloods meets 6 Feet Under, minus the meth.
I like
it. Could be really good. But he's a quality actor, obviously. Everything Peter Krause touches, he's been a solid guy ever since like Sports Night, if you guys remember that 100 years ago.
I do. Matt and I have been in the business a while.
Yeah. What else we got?
And so all of this, also we're talking about kind of everything premiering in the fall. And I know looking into sports too, but what's interesting to me about the upfronts is it used to be everything focused on the fall, which is great with the sports, but it's almost like you've got to plan your whole year out, right?
Yeah.
There's no longer that kind of hiatus season anymore.
Right. And that is, that was, like, you might have one night of sports, but I remember media planning back in the, in a more sedate time where it was like you could count on your 22 episodes, where they were going to fall, where the mid-season replacements were going to hit, and then pick it back up in the spring for a big finish. Yeah. So it is, it's a little bit different now. You got to stack for sports, and then you got to, plan for after a season ends, that kind of thing. So then you've got, I think Wednesday, no changes. I think you stick with the franchise that's still winning. It's for some reason, Americans are obsessed with Midwestern public services. I don't know. We've got, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD.
It's the comfort show, you know what I mean? It's the cereal, which I know y'all have the formula, you've perfected it. So,
and from a quality standpoint, I mean, I'm an IMDb geek. They're all over 7.5. It's 7.6, 8.0, 8.1. Those are pretty solid shows. Good viewer reviews there. Thursday, this one's pretty exciting. I think traders, coming civilian traders.
Yes. Oh, so it's no celebrities, just regular Joes.
Yeah, I mean, there is an inherent risk in that. People obviously want to see, reality show people doing reality show things. Hopefully, the civilians will ramp up that level of, drama and unpredictability. But,
and is this also going to be airing? And that's another thing we could talk about too, is kind of that cross promotion between all the NBC programming and Peacock. So I know that is what prompted me to get my Peacock subscription, was the original Traders. And I watched it with my daughters. So it's interesting now that we're coming over to the broadcast side and capitalizing.
That's interesting because it was an anchor show for Peacock, and they used the big stick as its teaser, like, hey, here's the show we've got. They're like, kind of good. Like, so to make this be, hey, it's going to be it's going to anchor our Thursday night lineup. We do believe in this. I think it'll just be the day delay on Peacock, obviously, and then the library will be available for you.
Very cool.
As you need it, and hopefully that's one of those shows that people don't want to wait one more week. You'll just take them in as they come.
Oh yeah, you have to, because everyone talks about it the next day.
And then of course follow it up. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh no, they always leave it on a cliffhanger, and I was looking at the rest of the shows on Thursday. I saw the Law and Orders, and I'm like, isn't there the other Law and Order that has Stabler on it now? I can't remember what the name of it. Sorry.
They axed one.
They got rid of the organized crime.
Organized crime. They got rid of yesterday. Was it just a couple days ago?
Gotcha.
That got the official axe.
So it's Special Victims Unit and then Original. That's what we've got coming back.
Yeah.
Yep. I just remember being on Thursday. That was the block, kind of like the Chicago was on Wednesday, and then the Law and Orders on Thursday. But Traders is definitely a great addition. That's definitely a show that has been watched in my house.
I'm almost surprised. I'm almost surprised they didn't use the voice as its launch pad for the Traders, but maybe they thought it stands alone, so then it's not going to need that kind of boost. Whereas their Prestige show, they do typically put the Prestige show after the voice. That's been a pattern for NBC. And then Fridays, when in doubt, bring Reba back to the net. Not that she's back, like season 4, I think, of Happy's Place. So. She'll always have a place in network TV. I think she can generate a pretty solid audience of women 50 plus, which is a lot of core audience of live, linear broadcast. I mean, I'm not.
It is, and it's
I'm
actually
not fun. I'm married to a 50 plus.
Depending on the client and what you are selling, that women 35-64 demo is very strong with a lot of purchasing power.
It's key. It's absolutely key. You nailed it on the head. 35-64 is, that is the spend and demo right now. But pretty excited for newlyweds. Taya Leone and Tim Daly again. Cool. Like I said, you when in doubt, you get a couple of bona fide stars and some decent writing, and as I'm recalling it, I'm looking at the setup. I'm like, oh, this is basically Dharma and Greg revisited.
I did love that.
Yeah.
Which I loved. I thought Dharma and Greg was a great show, right? I mean, when it was time, it was super sweet, well written, a lot of heart.
So is the setup I was going to ask you what it was about because I hadn't seen anything about it. Is it basically the same kind of setup?
Free-spirited middle-aged woman marries after a whirlwind, short romance, marries a tweed-wearing Tim Daly college professor type. So,
And they're married in real life.
it's
Well,
the
Oh, they are?
I'm pretty sure they're married in real life.
Oh, yeah. That's a great hook. I
And
can see
then-
that, especially coming out of Reba. That'll do well.
And then Jamie Lee Curtis with recurring roles. So there you go. We got Jamie Lee on NBC. That's always exciting.
That
What is
is.
her name? I can't.
I mean, if you're a fan of American media and you don't love Jamie Lee Curtis, I wonder. Like,
What is Jamie Lee coming back? What is she doing? Is she on
she's
that?
going to be a reoccurring character in
Oh, okay.
Newlyweds,
I did not
maybe
know
like a
that.
mother-in-law or something.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. That's like the perfect, perfect role.
I'm excited about this Wordle show because I like Wordle. I like word games. And so the NBC has greenlit a show, kind of a takeoff of Wordle. And
Oh, that's right.
what's her name is doing it?
Savannah's going to host, yeah.
Oh, that's great too. And is that in prime time or is that one going to be in daytime?
You know,
That'll be I think it's going to be mid-series prime.
Got you.
Probably along,
So kinda
maybe
like-
paired up with like Password or something, right? Like
Yeah, I
And
can
also-
definitely see that being popular.
this is one, I guess it couldn't fit in the lineup, or maybe it's a production thing. Rockford Files are coming back January. That could be cool. It's David Boreanaz from Agent Booth popularity of Bones. I don't know if you guys ever watched Bones. I was a massive fan, but he's always a bankable star. So it'll be cool to have. And Rockford Files. That's just I remember that as a kid with the killer
Yeah.
theme song, and
right?
No, I can see that being good too, and having it's detective, right? Another kind of serial show.
he is. He's gets out of prison after wrongly, for a crime he didn't commit, and goes back to his life of being a private eye, that kind of thing. Good setup, and comic hilarity ensues with also a little bit of peril.
And of course, you can't leave out all the sports.
Yep, I know. The biggest thing to talk about is football.
Always football.
Yeah, we're kicking it off with, I think our opening game is it Cowboys? Cowboys Giants, I think we're opening with. So that's always nice. And for the station, it's locally to be able to use it as kind of a promotional lift-off point for the new season. To have basically as many eyes as you can have tuned in. A Cowboys Sunday night football game tends to do the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other shows that are coming up that y'all are really excited about? I mean, I saw some stuff like coming to NBC and Peacock and stuff like that, but that
There's
weren't on this
one-
list. But
The Hunting Party, they haven't determined whether it's going to be. They just haven't found a home for it yet. It's a procedural show, but it's like a crack team of marshals or something is hunting down a prison that shouldn't exist, had a massive escape, so they're trying to catch all the world's worst criminals who are. They're the hunting party, so there you go. But NBC not committed yet to a home on the network.
that the paper's coming back and a few other new shows are coming in. Some more TED stuff, but yeah.
And I think like with the paper, if we get a taste of that on NBC, it'll probably be a Saturday night. They'll play it Saturday night for sampling and say, hey, catch the whole thing on Peacock.
Smart. Like I was talking about that cross promotion, and there was another one on Peacock that looked kind of right up my alley. We're talking about that Women 3564 demo was the Jennifer Garner. I think it's a mini series that's
Oh, I
coming
saw that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked interesting. I don't know when that's gonna air, but I did see something about that. That was pretty up my alley too. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think overall, definitely y'all have a strong lineup for the fall and next year, and y'all know kind of it's NBC, so it's always going to be that Sunday night football, and then we come back around again for Olympics. Y'all always have the sports on lock. So.
And I will say, and the two major additions of Major League Baseball and NBA to the network lineup, that I think that basically gives us a live Tier 1 sporting event on Sunday night, 51 out of 52 weeks. That's just like wow.
That's great.
That's a massive commitment, obviously.
Yep, and NBA will be really huge. Have y'all looked at, well, now I'm starting to negotiate, but packages and selling for local with the Spurs doing so great and y'all being local.
Yeah.
And yeah, could be some
One
great
thing that's a bit disappointing with we're glad to have the NBA back, is that we're on a rotating thing with the Western. We get the Western Conference Finals this year, which was fabulous, right? Like the first time we get them, the Spurs are back in it, massive audiences, like just from the overnights and the actual, the daily demos for those things were just absolutely staggering. But we won't get the Western Conference Finals again for the 2 more years.
Well,
we won't get them next year. It's a bit of a bummer, but we will. We're hoping we'll get a first couple rounds of playoffs with them in it too. So that always helps in May. But it's really bolstered NBC's kind of sports offerings throughout the year. Really balanced it out because we were very football heavy for a time there, and then we kind of had to sit on the bench, so to speak. But now we can stay on the field all year.
Strategy as far as billing goes, but then as far as we go, it's great because then we have that consistent presence to look for, for those live sports and deals throughout the year for our clients. So all works together great.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. Going through that list, we're excited about the new fall programming, and then we'll be back next week with maybe some more insights on another station for Pixels and Points. But thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Bye.
Bye.